Yesterday, American citizens got a very good example of the fact that sometimes even the smartest people can say some of the dumbest things. And that very smart person who said a very dumb thing happened to be astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, who yesterday tweeted out the following. He said, in the past 48 hours, the USA horrifically lost 34 people to mass shootings. On average, across any 48 hours, we also lose 500 to medical errors, 300 to the flu, 250 to suicide, 200 to car accidents, 40 to homicide via handgun. Often our emotions respond more to spectacle than to data. Now, if he hadn't put that little last sentence in there, this probably would not have sparked as much outrage. As much, it still would have sparked outrage. But to say that, this is an emotional response, it's only 34 people is what it sounds like he's getting at. But there is a world of difference between somebody dying because a surgeon accidentally nicks an artery than somebody picking out bread off a shelf and getting shot in the friggin' head. Right? There's a world of difference between those two things. One of them is an accepted risk that you are warned about before you do this thing. The other is just a person getting groceries for the week. One of those, you understand that there's a chance you could die. The other, this is just a routine errand that millions upon millions of people do every single day. Now, Neil deGrasse Tyson did come out and he apologized for this once he saw the massive backlash from it. And this is a part of his apology statement. He said, "My intent was to offer objectively true information that might help shape conversations and reactions to preventable ways we die. Where I miscalculated was that I genuinely believed the tweet would be helpful to anyone trying to save lives in America. What I learned from the range of reactions is that for many people, some information, my tweet in particular, can be true but unhelpful, especially at a time when many people are either still in shock or trying to heal, or both." Now again, these things that deGrasse Tyson pointed out are true, right? We do lose a lot of people to these other tragedies every day, okay? Suicide, car accidents, the flu, homicides, medical errors. The problem is, we have laws, right? We have laws. Doctors have to get malpractice insurance so that if their medical error kills somebody, that person, their family, I guess I should say, can be made whole, or at least as whole as money can make you. We have laws about vehicles, right? We have car laws. You have to wear a seatbelt. You have to drive a speed limit. Children have to be in car seats. We don't have universal health care, so the flu one, we just don't care about that as a country, I guess. Homicide, again, illegal. But on the other hand, the people who get their hands on these totally legal weapons of war walk into a grocery store and start shooting up the place. Aside from the killing itself, what that person did was legal. Those people in that store did not accept a risk upon entering that. We understand risks of everything else, and that's part of the shock that comes with mass shooting. Not necessarily the numbers of people who get killed, but that we didn't accept this risk. We accept the risk when we get into an automobile. We know what could happen. We know what could happen when we go under for surgery, and it is terrifying, even for a routine procedure. We don't do that when we go to the store. We don't do it when we go to church. We don't do it when we go out to a nightclub. We don't do it when we go to a movie theater. There should be no risk involved with any of that. And that's what is so shocking about these mass shootings. Because it could happen to any one of us at any time, because as of right now, we're not doing anything about it. And that's why Tyson's tweet was so tone deaf. The people who survived, the people who weren't even shot at in either of these two events over the past weekend, are going to be living with that PTSD probably for the rest of their lives. anytime they hear a sudden loud noise, they could panic, they could have flashbacks. There is also an emotional toll that goes along with this. I know this because a very dear friend of mine was in that crowd in Las Vegas during that mass shooting. And she's talked about that repeatedly. This doesn't go away. And that is why this tweet from Neil deGrasse Tyson was so completely tone deaf and inappropriate. We know people die doing things every day, Neil. And so do you. This was not a good time. But more importantly, in general, it just wasn't a good thing to say. We need to do something about the guns. We don't need a lecture on, well, more people die doing this, so I get... No, that's not the conversation that ever needs to happen. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.